My name is Renee Tyer-Goodwin. In my publishing and authorship world, I go by Renee Goodwin. So thinking about my career over all these years, it started when I really did write children's books early on, based on my education as a teacher from Texas A&M. I earned a education degree, but I mainly focused on math and sciences. But then life took me on different journeys, and I went back to school and got my petroleum engineering degree from Texas A&M University, and I became the first woman offshore drilling engineer for British Petroleum back in the day. And while I was there, I also learned production and reservoir engineering, and I was then able to start my own engineering company called TP Exploration that I ran for over 30 years. And during that time, I also received a Master's of Business Administration from University of Texas at Tyler, so I could then learn how to run that business and be successful at it. I also taught myself some civil engineering, and I was building water and wastewater treatment systems all around East Texas with a firm. And when that kind of subsided, Gigi, my Cane Corso, she's an Italian Mastiff, entered my life, and I watched her play every day, and then all these stories just came to my mind, and I came to the computer and I wrote all these stories, and I thought, well, Renee, that doesn't do anything. And so I thought, well, let me just call the publisher. So I picked up the phone and I called the publisher, and the lady answered, and she and I became the best friends in just a few minutes. And she said, sure, why don't you send me your manuscript and we'll get back with you in a few days. And she did. And they said yes, they wanted to publish Gigi Cleans House. And I was so excited. One of the happiest days of my life. And that's how the Gigi Life Lesson Storybook series began. Gigi Cleans House Learning Teamwork is based on Gigi just doing one thing after another in real life. She loves to help. My Mrs. G is my character in the book, and so she helps with laundry, and then she helps Susie, the housekeeper, with changing sheets on the bed. And bottom line, it teaches children teamwork, because Gigi's all about helping as long as there's a reward at the end, because she'll do anything for a treat. And then Gigi meets her match, becoming forever friends. This is where she meets Leo, her best friend forever, who is also a Cane Corso. He's just a lot larger than Gigi has ever seen. and they become friends in the book, and each book has vocabulary words at the end, and so that also is a great learning tool for children. The next book was Gigi Ask, Is Jesus in Your Class? And each book is always dedicated to a special person or has a theme behind it. And years ago, my father always made sure that we had a religious foundation. And years later, I always kept that in my mind, and I was able to write Gigi Ask, Is Jesus in Your Class? And then during the COVID time, I wrote Gigi Takes Action, Practicing Health Safety, and it gives a broad basis of children, teaching them to wash their hands and wear their mask during COVID, which Gigi washes her paws somewhat reluctantly and wears her mask, but in real life she also does that, and there's pictures in the book to show. And I think that helps children, because children, they like to learn, especially from the perspective and the voice of a puppy, more so than from their parents or a teacher or you and me. And then with Goodwin Global Publishing, I published Gigi Sets Sail, Seeing the Beauty of the World, because to Gigi, the most beautiful thing in her whole life is her backyard, where she has flowers and squirrels and birds, and my Mrs. G tells her that, Gigi, we're going to go sailing with our friend Bob, who the book is also dedicated to Captain Bob. She doesn't know what sailing is about, but she's always ready to go. So you say, let's go, and Gigi's off on an adventure. And then Gigi works the honeybees, helping nature. My husband and sons have always been honeybee keepers, and Gigi helps with that as well. Also, it gives children a view of respecting nature and just the intricacies of honeybees, but on a simplistic way of showing how that they make honey, and then we extract it and then have it at our dining room table. So along with novels and Gigi life lesson storybooks, I also have a goal to make the books into an animated TV series. I just had this vision that I can see children sitting at home with their parents, or riding to school, looking at their laptops, watching a Gigi venture. And I do think that it's so important because Gigi books teach you a lesson, and they teach you a value. My father always said that children learn their character, their values, their integrity by the age of 5. And so I always keep that in my mind when I write the Gigi storybooks. And so I do think that these, making the storybooks into an animated TV series would be awesome, and a movie, because children can learn from it, and the parents can learn from it too. I also have gone on to write my own novels as well. I wanted to make sure that I could publish before I then offered to others to publish their work. So I wrote 2 novels, A Love of Life Forgone and Living Past Shadows. The Love of Life Forgone is about a lady, a young girl, that meets the love of her life early on, but then they were using different names at the time, and so they got separated and they never could match back up. And so they lived their life separately until one day, through the brilliance of photography, were they able to come back together. Living Past Shadows is about a young woman that actually was raised by her grandparents, and she's trying to kind of get away from some past shadows that keep following her, but then try to go on with her life. And that book is interesting because I personify a truck. So every other chapter, the truck his name is Roy. Roy knows what Jody needs to be doing, but she doesn't quite get it. And then as time goes on, things happen and Jody figures it out. But all my novels are usually based on adventures or happenings in my own life that then I can create a story and then share with others. So right now, some projects I'm working on are to continue with the Gigi Life Lesson Storybook series. I plan to have a holiday book for Gigi. Gigi has a holiday spirit where she teaches holiday traditions. And then I'm working on Big Girls Don't Cry Until They Do. It's a new novel. That's mainly encompasses a lot of my oil and gas happenings in my life, that I kind of put it into that story. Many times authors come to me, or they want to be authors. If I can kind of visualize it from what they're telling me, I then see like the cover of the book, the title and the cover of the book, and I love that. I love to create the covers of the books. A Love of Life Forgone, actually that's my artwork, and I thought, well, this piece of artwork goes right with that story, so I was able to use that as the cover. And I've designed a few other book covers for people. If I can visualize it and kind of send it back to them, I like it to be in their court. It's their work, it's not mine. I can throw out ideas, but they're the ones that need to write it. But then on the technical side of publishing, as far as the copyrights and the ISBN numbers and that kind of thing, and how to get it in worldwide distribution, I'm very happy to help in that regard too. I enjoy going out into the community, to the libraries and to the schools, and do read-alouds with the children. Gigi Life Lesson storybooks are great read-aloud stories, and I've had the occasion to go to elementary schools where I had the whole audience from kindergarten through 5th grade. And I read Gigi Cleans House, and then afterwards we had a question and answer session, and it's just amazing the questions that the children ask me. I try to teach them the parts of the book, like the title page, copyright, dedication, acknowledgments, about the author, and about the front cover, back cover, and the different types of books. You have the paperback and the hardcover, and then this day and time you have e-books. And actually audiobooks. Gigi Cleans House is an audiobook. And so that was one venture that I wanted to learn about, and we created an audiobook. It all goes back to my beginning when my parents worked several jobs making sure that my siblings and I had education. Education is my passion. As I went on in my oil and gas career, I was married and had 2 children in the same year, and they weren't twins, and it was later in my life, so we've gone many years now. And but I've always made sure the boys had a great education because I knew that that was going to set them off on their career. My older sister became a wonderful, successful optometrist, and her family as well, and they have many optometrists and ophthalmologists in their family. My brother is a very successful neurologist, followed the footsteps of my father in the medical field. My father was a physician for over 45 years. My mother followed in the healthcare profession as a hospital facilitator, but also at 91 years old now, she is actually proclaimed as the oldest active realtor in the state of Texas. And we're so proud of Mama. And then my sister has been a professional dancer, professional athletic trainer. She's trained many professional athletes. She's also has many businesses and is a Pilates instructor. I know all of that came from my parents showing us that education is your livelihood, because to me, my education belongs to me, and I can share that that statement with others, because your education is something that you have. Nobody can take that from you, but it's that special thing that encourages you to go on with your life. So with my passion for education, my husband shares my feelings as well, especially with our children, because he worked hard to get his education. He is a perfusionist, a cardiovascular perfusionist. He started the first heart program in Tyler, Texas, back over 40 years ago. So he knows what that education has done for him, and he knows how important it is for that. He ended up starting his own business and contracting out his perfusion services and other services to the hospitals. That's worked very well for him all these years. Going back years ago, when I was the first woman offshore drilling engineer supervisor for British Petroleum, it came full circle, and my alma mater, Texas A&M University, awarded me with the Aggie Women Legacy Award. I was so happy to be recognized for blazing those trails and pioneering those paths for women. Texas A&M prepared me to be the best engineer I could possibly be. And I knew that day that I walked out off that campus and walked into the building working for British Petroleum, I knew that I was fortified to be the best engineer possible. And I'm very thankful for all those professors that that got us ready. I mean, we knew from that moment on that, you know, I could just take my petty 202 notes, you know, it's like, okay, yeah, I remember that, and solve that equation or work on that program, and that really was a blessing. And then later on, just in the whole scope of women in business, I'm very thankful for that. And also for the Gigi Life Lesson Storybook series are award-winning children's books. They have won the Mom's Choice Awards and the Family Choice Awards. And those awards give parents that sense of ease, that confidence that when they open this book and they read it aloud, or their child reads this book, that they know that they have good values and that their children will learn from reading these books, and that is very important to me. So outside of all this authorship and publishing, I have a wonderful grandson, and he brings so much joy to me. And because I'm passionate about education, I want to make sure that he gets off on the right track. And so from day one, I've been reading books to him, and now he, in his own way, reads books to me. And he has great motor skills, so when he was just a few months old, he could actually manipulate a book, and he can open and close the book, and he can turn the pages. And now, in his own way, he looks at me and turns the pages and talks as he's reading the story. And I'm just so happy that I can share education and reading with him. And also, for fun these days, I have been so blessed to meet a wonderful group of ladies, and we line dance together. And from that endeavor, it's brought back my drill team days from high school. And I've started choreographing line dances, and then now I publish them online. And it's another little hobby. I also like to do heavy texture acrylic painting, and so I take a wooden board and I'll make some flowers or scenes of the ocean and or the sun, and that helps my creativity, but also kind of take my mind off of the slow process of publishing. Sometimes can kind of get the best of you when you're waiting for your design graphic. But I tell you, my great experience is with publishing my Gigi Storybooks is my wonderful design graphic person, Gabriella Fleming. She made the world of design graphics such an ease for me, and she created such wonderful illustrations in those books, and I'm deeply, deeply thankful. And also, I wanted to also mention, when I do help other authors, one of my best friends, Betty Rose, is a children's book author, and she and I collaborate on different adventures, and I'm happy that she's kind of in my life, kind of help sharing being a children's book author with me. Marquis Who's Who has offered me a whole new venture in life. Marquis Who's Who has opened doors and windows that I may have never had the opportunity to walk through or see through, and I'm very, very thankful. I appreciate that they see the accomplishments of my career and my successes and want to share them with the world, and I am truly thankful for that. Being a Marquis Who's Who biographical listee is the pinnacle, if you will. It's like taking all of my accomplishments and putting them all together and finally reaching a place called there. So what is a place called there? A place called there is where all your dreams, all your hardships, all the thoughts, all the wonders that you've always wanted to do come full circle and you see your success, you've made it. My children's books allow me to venture into my mind and write about things that I may not have got to live in my personal life, but I can now in my mind share them with children. That wonderful years of being a child and all the fun things that can go through your mind, and I really am thankful for the Gigi books, because they do bring my life full circle. So today I'd like to share with you how a Gigi storybook is created. I think of a title or a theme or whatever antic Gigi has done lately, or a subject matter that I want to teach the children. Today this book is called Gigi Has Rhythm. So it's always a title, and then I have the action word as a subtitle. So this is singing, playing, and dancing. Each book, because I don't know what book people may have or don't have, I always start out introducing Gigi. So I say, "Hi, my name is Gorgio Cecilia, but everyone calls me Gigi." And I always tell them about her happy home, because I want everyone to feel comfort and love when they read the books. Today, I write, I have a very upbeat family. My Mr. G, my Mrs. G, Joe, Mike, and my best friend forever, Leo. Every day we find reason to sing, play, and dance. And so the subtitle, I always, since those are the action words, I always have them repeating themselves. And so there's a title page, there's a dedication. So I'm going to dedicate this book to my friends, the K-Steppers, that have taught me how to line dance and to then go on to choreograph. And a lot of times I repeat different sentences so the children can kind of, oh, singing, playing, dancing. And this one goes on to say, when I go outside in the morning, I hear the birds singing, so I chime in. I bark singing, today is singing, playing, and dancing day, just like yesterday. As I bark singing, I hear Leo join in with his bark singing. Today is a singing, playing, and dancing day, just like yesterday. From the kitchen, I hear my Mrs. G humming, singing. Today is a singing, playing, and dancing day, just like yesterday. Singing with the birds, with Leo and my Mrs. G is a great way to start my day. So again, I try to keep it upbeat as this, and loving and caring and full of action. And so with that sentence, I would go over in the comment section and describe what the scene would look like. In my books, I have the spread, so both sides of the page have the whole scene. So in this one, I would have Gigi sitting out there, kind of looking around. There'll be birds, and Leo will probably be in the background, and you'll see him barking, and then probably from the kitchen window, you can see my Mrs. G humming. And then it goes on. Later, Joe and Mike call Leo and I, Leo, Gigi, it's time to play. I love hearing it's time to play. Leo and I grab our toys and head for the back door. Joe and Mike laugh, chuckling, you puppies are so funny. Joe says, it's time to play our musical instruments. Let's go practice. Leo and I look confused, but we follow. Joe and Mike show Leo and I their trumpets. To make a trumpet sound, you blow air into the instrument. And so with these stories, I also take in consideration, okay, what age group are listening, what is their vocabulary level. So I do believe they know a trumpet, they know an instrument, so I think those words are okay to use. Leo and I try to make a trumpet sound. Then Mike suggests that we play the keyboard. Leo and I look at each other wondering, what is a keyboard? Mike explains a keyboard is a small piano. You press the keys and you hear a high sound and low sound. The high sounds are the treble notes and the low sounds are the bass notes. We decide Leo will play the bass notes and I'll play the treble notes so we can sing along. And then I'll end that with, I love, I'll say practicing and playing musical instruments with Joe and Mike. Because that way I feel like they learned a little bit about a trumpet. The children learned a little bit about a piano. They learned treble notes and bass notes. They know that one's high, one's low. And then also, they might enjoy practicing when their mother says, okay, it's time to go practice your piano. They don't mind because Gigi practices her piano.